welcome once again to Gulf News Straight Bat. It was another pivotal day, at the T20 World Cup as the Super 12 stages are edging their conclusion. Joining me to discuss today's action are Mr. Cricket UAE, Anis Sarjan, and Gulf News expert Satish. Starting with Anis, please summarize the two games that we've just seen tonight.
Thank you, Imran. Hello, Satish. As expected, we were knowing that New Zealand will get the better of Namibia and India will get what they wanted to achieve against Scotland. And to be very honest, at one time, New Zealand were struggling, but came the experience of Nisham, as well as the young Glenn Phillips, which they already rate him high. And they hammered 4 overs, I believe 60 or 64 runs, which took the game totally away from Namibia and diffused them. Whereas India, when they won the toss, Scotland was always chasing the game and bowling them out for 85. It was India probably just had to walk in the park, and that's how India achieved the win.
Okay, let's go back to the first game at 2 o'clock today. It was New Zealand, as Anis has just mentioned, against Namibia. New Zealand had their eye on not only winning, but boosting the net run rate, which would give them a bit of a cushion in Group 2. And they sealed another convincing victory, which improves their chances of reaching the semi-finals. They batted first, but their dangerous openers, Guptill and Mitchell, they were sent back without doing as much damage as they would have expected to. And their early momentum was checked by the Namibians. Satish, did they underestimate their attack?
I don't think so. It's more than the attack. It's the wicket that plays a big role. Like, it doesn't matter which attack you play. It is the wicket that plays a major role in what you can achieve. So I think that way New Zealand played a bit cautious to start with. Yeah, if Guptill had fired, then that would have been a different issue. But they were a little cautious and they waited till the last. And then, see, again, this is the problem with these smaller teams because of the lack of experience. They can't hold those important key moments. That's where they slip up. So that's exactly where the New Zealand, they were waiting for the Namibians to slip up. Of course, they did exceedingly well to do until the 16th over, if I remember right. So then the last, not even the 16th, I think even the 17th over, when David Weiss came and bowled that one particular over, that's where they were, like literally left off the hook. But yeah, see, again, the last 2-3 overs, these guys have played T20 cricket across the world, and they know, and one end of the boundary, it's small, other one is a big one. So they know how to capitalize on that. But I think that is where the entire thing happened.
Anis, there was some, you've already mentioned it, there was some fireworks at the end as the Black Caps hit 67 runs off the last 4 overs and they reached 163. And ultimately that rescued them, didn't it?
Oh, yes, big time. In fact, they have done it now twice. First time against Scotland. At that time also, they had lost 4 wickets. At that time, it was Guptill who made sure that they got the big runs. And today on the slow wicket, like Satish mentioned, it was not easy to begin with. But in the end, the experience of Namibia actually came into picture where they bowled short balls rather than pitching it up or rather bowling a back of length. And that is where the dangerous Glenn Phillips, he is the future of New Zealand. And of course, Jamie Nisham has a lot of experience and they cut loose. And that's why 67 runs came. And David Weiss played enough cricket to give 21 runs in that over, which led that that foot on the accelerator by the Kiwi batsman, and then there was no looking back.
Satish, in response, Namibia went from 47 for no loss to 55 for 3 in just 13 balls. At the same stage, after 10 overs, Namibia were just 6 runs behind New Zealand. But did they ever
number
give
of
you
wickets?
the feeling...
That's a crucial one. Like, see, that is where I would always say the experience comes in, and those who crack under the pressure the first will lose it. So Namibia, again, they could have. It's not Namibia. Even yesterday, for that matter, West Indies did the same thing. They were only 10
Did they ever
runs
give you the
behind
feeling that they could win,
mark.
Satish?
Sorry?
Did they ever give you the feeling that they could do the chase?
Namibia, no. It was difficult because, see, 140 was the pass score, 130, 135 was the pass score. It was way above the pass score. So no, I don't think they would have had any chance. They let the grip go, slip in the last 3 overs. From there, I don't think there was any time where they could have come back because of the pressure. And these Kiwi bowlers are all hugely experienced bowlers on those wickets. It is going to be difficult to score that many runs especially under pressure.
Anis, New Zealand, they're looking clinical, they look impressive. They seem to be coming into form at the right time. Do you think they could sneak into the final?
To be very honest, New Zealand has been always that team, that are not the glamour boys. They do their work in the right way, or rather clinical way, and make sure they reach the knockouts every tournament. To be very honest, in this tournament, they haven't fired that well as much as you expect them, bearing that India game where they outclassed India. But the games against Scotland and Namibia, they were found wanting against spin. And we'll see how they come up against Afghanistan in that last crunch game, which they have to win to go into the knockout.
Okay, so New Zealand's win today means they will go through to the semi-finals if they beat Afghanistan on Sunday. But hoping that that doesn't happen, obviously, is India, who needed to beat Scotland today to keep their World Cup hope alive. And Virat Kohli got off to the perfect start, finally, by winning the toss, that too on his birthday. Happy birthday to him. India bowled, Scotland out for 85 and won by 8 wickets. And it was just the result that they needed, wasn't it, Anis?
Yes, Imran, like you mentioned, it was the perfect toss for Virat Kohli to win on his birthday. Bowling out was also very good. Like you wanted them to be bowled out below 100. That was also perfect. But Imran, I would probably, some might say that what is Anis saying, but this is what I'm trying to put my thinking cap and say. India should have left a carrot dangling in front of Afghanistan. What I'm trying to come to the point is, by chasing down the target, they had to chase the target in 7.1 overs to get ahead of Afghanistan. But mind you, India was anyways playing the last game against Namibia, which was after the Afghanistan game. So if they had kept that carrot dangling in front of Afghanistan, where they would have been behind Afghanistan by a little margin of net run rate, it would have given Afghanistan that belief that, no, yes, even if they win and win by 10-20 runs, they know India will have to work hard. Now, Afghanistan probably to win that victory, to have a victory over New Zealand, will go berserk and might press the self-destruct button, which might go against India. I know I'm saying in like an emotional fan, but I believe this is what is going to happen, because Afghanistan know a win will not take them through. They will have to win too big the way India has won. And getting to that big win, probably Afghanistan will play into the hands of Kiwis.
It's an interesting point. Satish, what do you make of that?
No, I think Afghanistan will go for it, because you never know. They can even boost the run rate. You never know. They are capable of hitting 200, 220 also. So it doesn't matter to them. I think the Sunday match is going to be crucial, but the advantage India has is, or the disadvantage India has is, by the time they go into the Monday match, they know exactly where they are. Maybe they could still have their chances open, or they might have lost their chances by Sunday itself.
I disagree. Satish, I'll tell you why. If I am Afghanistan and I know I have to win the match and have to win big, like imagine it, they are not playing against a minnow team. They are playing against a veteran New Zealand team. So they cannot win by 20 runs. Now the equation for Afghanistan is that they need to win by 100 runs to give India a challenge to overall rather go for at least 0.50 ahead of India. Now winning by 20, 30, 40 runs is not going to be that difficult for India to chase. I know we are talking on 2 different levels, but that's the way I would think as an Afghanistan. I would now go for the kill. I said, mujhe jeet ke fayda nahi. I'm not going to benefit anything out of winning. I want to win and make sure I put India out. And in doing that, they might press the self-destruct.
I also like to disagree with you, but don't you think the pride is there? Like with them beating New Zealand, they'll feel that, yes, we have given ourselves the best, but still we missed the semi-final. That's okay, but we have done.
I wish I could say this on air, but maybe off air I'll tell you this.
We'll wait for you off air, Anis. Okay, listen, guys, back to today's game. The quickest India have ever reached 86 runs in a T20 match was in 2009 against Sri Lanka. They scored 88 runs after just 6.4 overs. Today, they bettered that by 1 ball. They got to the target by 6.3 overs. Satish, it was a fantastic assault. But where has this intent been in the previous 2 games?
I wish I could say that, because this is exactly where we are all searching for that intent in the first 2 games. Where is it? It is not the Indian team which we were used to. It was absolutely missing. Especially, I watched that New Zealand game. I was there. I was covering the game. So it was like some novices playing against New Zealand. And that's where I'm still not getting to grips with things. They could have just not attacked. They could have gone for the singles. They could have rotated the strike. They could have got 150, 160. Maybe then things could have been different. that they were they were clueless. Either they were defending or they were trying to hit the ball to the boundary, which is exactly again, like I have to come back to yesterday's game also, the same strategy which West Indies employed yesterday. And so this type of T20 cricket is out of fashion now. Sri Lanka showed the latest form of T20 cricket yesterday when they played ones and twos and odd boundaries, and they never played too many shots in the air. That means you are cutting the risk and then not giving the opponent the wickets. In the process, what happens is it put pressure on West Indies to search for that wicket, and they started making the mistakes. That's where they capitalized and went for that extra runs. So this is the new form of T20 cricket, which I think India should have played. They would have known it, but even I'm searching for that answer to that question, which is absolutely it's beyond anybody's comprehension, because the standard is so different. Sorry?
It's one of life's mysteries. Anis, I mean, look, KL Rahul, he hit 50 in 15 balls today. When he can bat like this, you have to wonder why he doesn't do it more often. This is what the Indian fans are really frustrated about, aren't they?
You're right, Imran. There is a very important saying in cricket which Sunil Gavaskar keeps mentioning. It's temperament which separates the men from the boys. And as much as KL Rahul is very talented, I'm afraid he still lacks the temperament. Okay, he has scored a fantastic 50. You cannot take away from him. He scored a wonderful 70 against Afghanistan. But come the big games, when you come against a knockout game match, I'm afraid there is where KL Rahul has failed to deliver, whether it is for Team India, whether it is for Punjab. He's got the talent which Virat Kohli hails is bigger than even the Rohit Sharma. But I'm afraid the temperament, which is emotional, mental and physical trait, which is what KL Rahul lacks. And that is why he has not been able to take Punjab to the knockouts. Or you're talking about India. I remember the Manchester game. He just had to play the situation, but he felt under the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, all due respect to Scotland, I mean, they're not the best, so I suppose we did expect India to, for the openers at least, to get well underway. In the last match, it was the batsmen that stole the show against Afghanistan in that 66-run win, but today it was the bowlers who really showed their skill. Jadeja and Shami both got 3 for 15. Satish, how impressed were you with both?
They both bowled the right line and length. They bowled so many Yorkers and they were hitting the wickets like nobody's business. So that's exactly, like if they had done half good as they have done today, maybe, we would have done even better in the 2 games which we lost. Of course.
Satish, we were defending at that time, batting first and batting second is different in Dubai. You all know all the teams have struggled batting first.
Correct. That's another point which, but Anis,
no excuses, but you have to give it. Toss plays a crucial role in Dubai.
Yeah, exactly. Now it is only in Dubai, because if you look at the last 3 games in Abu Dhabi, the team that batted first has won in the last 3 games in Abu Dhabi.
Agreed.
So now Dubai toss is still favoring the team that is batting second in Dubai, which I think the due factor is more in Dubai than in Abu Dhabi maybe. So that way, yes. But again, the line and length they bowled is phenomenal. These guys are all, that's what I keep telling them. They have the talent. It's not that something they lack it. They have the talent. Only thing is they didn't exhibit it in the first 2 games. Of course, as the saying goes, form is temporary, class is permanent. So they had that bad form in the first 2 games.
Anis, the balance looked right today. Do you think going forwards, India should stick with the combination of having 3 spinners in the team?
You know what? I'm a big fan of Varun Chakravarti, but to be very honest, as much as he's bowled tight lines, he's not picked up wickets, which Ashwin and Jadeja has picked. And when you are playing a knockout game, I'm not sure whether the due factor will come into it. I know due doesn't affect Varun, but the point is he needs to buy wickets. And if he's not going to buy wickets, I would rather go for Shardul Thakur because he's handy with the bat. And he's also weak linked with the ball.
But
and that experience of Shardul will matter.
Satish, what were you going to say?
No, the thing is,
I think we've lost him because of network.
We've lost him. Okay, just finally, it was a huge moment, Anis, for Scottish cricket. I mean, they were playing against a giant in the game today against India. Going forwards, what will they take from this game and also being in the World Cup?
Very honestly, Imran, teams like Namibia, Scotland, Ireland, they all want exposure. Because if you're going to play once in a while and once in 4 years, probably twice in 4 years with the big boys, you're not going to get anything out of it. You will say that you have learned the experience, but that experience, you need to have it regularly. You can't have it once in 2 years or once in 4 years. ICC has to look into it that they get enough games against these big boys.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we'll wrap it up there. There's another doubleheader tomorrow where Group 1 will be decided. Australia play against West Indies and England play against South Africa. And we'll be back to see how they all got on. In the meantime, do head on to gulfnews.com for all the latest news, reviews, analysis, videos, and plenty more. That's all from us for tonight. Thanks and good night.